Have you had those days when you're so pumped up, so energetic, so full of life, and you're creating great content, great things for yourself? And then there are just some days where you're just lousy and you're not even able to get out of your bed, and you're just wasting your time doing all the stuff chasing after dopamine after dopamine after dopamine, and at the end not really feeling good about yourself. Well, if you have, let me tell you something, you're not the only one. And we all go through this. So I I wanted to know what happens to us, what happens to the mind, what what is it that is making us go through this sequence. I'm sure you can relate, can't you? Now, I want you to take your attention as you're looking at me all around you. If you look at the walls or anywhere you are, you'll start to see patterns. Everywhere there are patterns. There are patterns in your sofa, in the wall, even in your clothes, in your hands. That's why we can do the finger scanning thing. And even one step deeper, even our thoughts and our emotions have a sequence of pattern. The pattern which results in certain behavior, which can be better for us or not, and the other way around. So why is it that we're still sticking up with that pattern? Say for example, you get into a pattern of obsessive binging something, right? Or something specific would be smoking, right? But what is it that we can't get out of it, right? Because there is this knowing that we gotta get out of it, but it's just not happening. So why is that happening? It's because that pattern is serving us. It's serving us in a way, and we know that. Maybe we're doing it because I feel relaxed, because I get to blow off some steam, because I feel good about it, right? So that's why we're still not being able to get out of it. Now, if we look at it from a long-term perspective, that is, however, contradicting the same value that we are putting our attention on. 20 years after you get lung cancer, is that going to be relaxing for you? No, no, that's right. So when you look at it from the long term, we're directly contradicting the value that we want to fulfill through that activity. So that pattern then starts to crumble a little bit. There you start to think about, wait a sec, just wait a sec. Now, what can we do as individuals to start working with that, with ourselves, with our behavior, with the result that we want to get? The first thing is simply awareness. That's simple, but at the same time, it's very challenging to understand when you start to get into that autopilot mode. For everyone, there's different triggers. For someone, it can be external triggers, like the way someone looked at you, the way someone said something, anything, or it can be internal. You can go back to your memories, you're imagining things. You can have conflicts about something, about a decision that you are not being able to take. It can be anything, and instead of the usual pattern, instead of dealing with it, we just go into a different sequence of actions to cover up that. And I'm sure you can relate to this, right? So the first step for us is to recognize that and just be with ourselves. Do what we need to do. If you need to write down those thoughts, just write them down. Do what we need to do. But that's when you need to stop right there at the same time. Just stop. Second thing is something I like. Just get out. Just get out of wherever. Just change your environment, right? Go to some hills. Right now it's Corona time. We can't do that obviously, but just come out of your room, go spend some time with family, go to the terrace, and if you're lucky, you can just walk around, go to some place where you can smell the fresh air and can inhale it, right? That's something that's really worked out for me as well. It's the second thing. The third thing is that something I like a lot is the people you love, and they start to recognize the patterns. And for a few days, maybe they will be like, yeah, I know this guy is starting on a pattern, but let's just see if he gets back on his own. But if you don't, you'll start seeing it in the way they will behave to you. Maybe just the way they look at you, or maybe they can directly say to you. So it's very important to be attentive to that person, to the people around, the people who love, the people who talk to us, the people who say how are you, the people who really care. So that's the third thing. All right. And finally, it's about going back to yourself and asking yourself, what do I care for? What do I value? Why do I do the thing that I do? And how am I not being able to function that way? How am I not being able to follow the steps that I need to get there? And you'll just have this visual paranormic view of all the things that you actually need to do, right? Or uh, need to get done, so that you stick on that same pattern, and really where you experience real joy and real happiness. So that's very important. And the fourth thing is just choose something very simple, something, because especially when you've been in that pattern for a long time, just something simple, maybe writing something that it depends on who you are, what context. So the context is really something that I cannot talk about, so I can only talk about something generally, right? So for example, you're a writer, so you just start by writing a page down, just because the law of momentum starts to happen. So these are the four things that I would like to bring forward, and I know this is going to help you out a lot. And write down your comments. Say, please share your experience. I want to know and how you deal with it. What are your strategies to work through this? And in my own personal breakthrough sessions, we do this whole comprehensive session of pattern recognition and pattern breaking. So the first part of the 12 to 15 hours course that I do is all about recognizing all patterns, and then start off with new interventions like switch pattern, or changing some modalities. And I know this sound like jargon, but what I'm saying is just change the patterns, repatterning. That's something I want to talk about in maybe my next video, repatterning, right? So thank you so much for listening. If you listen to me my whole video, I'm very, very grateful. This is a journey, and I am very grateful for anyone who supports me, who's who's been there with me since day one. So thank you so much. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much. Hasta la vista. Take care.